you're planning on moving abroad, you've certainly seen those posts pop up in your FYP page talking about how wonderful and ideal this other country is, how everything is perfect there. They're talking about all these amazing programs and things. And it's so great that we're talking about the positive. But to avoid culture shock and to avoid like grave disappointment, I just want to add a little bit of nuance into the conversation. Whatever country you move to, there will be things that you're not comfortable with, that make you upset, that you disagree with. That is absolutely going to happen. No country is perfect, I'm sure you're aware. If you're moving abroad with kids, you really need to pay attention because in different societies, there are vastly different ways that are considered appropriate to raise children, especially when it comes to schools and things like that. I saw a post circulating recently that was like absolutely wonderful, and they were sharing French menus for like toddlers in daycare in public schools. Well, what just happened? Also, wherever you live, even if the systems are great, there are people that are absolutely nuts. So if you have children, especially, make sure you're listening to your kids, you're paying attention, that you're setting healthy boundaries with the schools where they're going. I worked in several preschools in France, and the mentality of how we feed children is vastly different, not just in like the quality or the quantity of the food, but forcing them to finish their plate. My kids also went to early childhood education in France, and not with both of them. At one of their schools, it was great, and at the other child had two different facilities where she was, taken care of for the day. And multiple times she would come home to me sobbing and sobbing and sobbing and saying that they had physically forced cheese down her throat. So keep it in mind that when you move abroad, even if some of the systems are really great in place, you're gonna run into people that are not so great in every single country. And you should also just be aware that there might be different ways that people handle things that don't line up with your values or the way you want things to be done, so that you can set healthy boundaries in your new country. This, of course, doesn't mean that you shouldn't move abroad or that like all French childcare is problematic. Far from it. I mean, again, like my son, he was in a great daycare. Wonderful, wonderful. Totally agreed with their philosophies and everything. But ask lots of questions because there might be cultural differences you're not aware of. Make sure you're setting healthy boundaries and really talking to your kids. And also just be very realistic about where you're going. What is this filter?